Hey everyone. Hi, right here in KKsFitKitchen. So Kimberly Knox, I'm the creator of the bioenergetic cooking method. I'm also a very passionate integrative health coach and love working with my clients to give them confidence in the kitchen and to create alternatives to things that we already know. My weekly webinar is coming up tonight, but in advance of that, I'm going to show you how to make a crust. It's paleo friendly. This one is not vegan. I will discuss a vegan option, but this one, it has very simple ingredients using coconut flour, which is super high in fiber. We're using some eggs because the alternative pumpkin pie that I'm going to show you is using high energy, non-inflammatory coconut milk and also eggs. So it is not vegan, but it's amazing, and it's got a scarce amount of the sugar that our grandmas used to use. So this one only has a high quality sea salt, some organic cold butter, coconut flour, and vanilla. And that's it. And there's another way to use your food processor, which you guys know I use a ton. So first of all, we're just going to be, let me set these aside here. I'm just going to cut up the butter and the flour. So these are the two that I buy, Coconut Secrets and also Bob's Red Mill. I use a lot of his products, his organic coconut flour. And so we're just going to cut this up. We're going to put the coconut flour, the butter, and the sea salt into the food processor, blend it around. So we're just going to cut this into chunks. Now, why do we want to cut down sugar? It wasn't that grandmas, were doing the recipes wrong. These are recipes that have been handed down. The problem is, starting in the 70s, so many processed foods that are in people's refrigerator included high fructose corn syrup. They still do. Additives, preservatives, all of those things are causing severe damage to the liver's ability to properly digest and process fats, increasing that cholesterol and total cholesterol, big problems. And we're just so much sugar. We have to cut down on sugar. And gluten is a huge problem. I know it's a problem for me, and so is dairy for many people, probably 60% of the population now. So we're just going to put this in. So we have to find ways to get around and to reduce refined sugars, which is that white sugar. And if you look in my YouTube videos, you're going to see a great video showing you how to make one of my favorite white sugar body scrubs. So I use sugar as a body scrub. That's fine. So we're going to be putting in about, I think it's 3/4 of a cup of the flour. And this smells naturally sweet on its own. I make my carrot cake, which you'll see in my book coming out of coconut flour. It's very paleo friendly with lots of eggs. And it's great. So the controversy on eggs, you want to get really good pastured eggs. They have good high omega-3s, and eggs are not a problem to your cholesterol. It is mainly how your liver is performing. You need about 1/4 teaspoon of the sea salt. I'm going to put that in. So we're going to start this up, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I brought the food processor up here so you can see a little bit better. You need to have these little ones. And I use the food processor quite a bit. So it's already processed into nice kind of thickness here. We're going to be adding the eggs. So I've just broken 2 eggs. Food processor is your friend because it makes you feel comfortable. You don't have to do much. You just put the stuff in there. This is going to be just a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm eyeballing it. It's fine. And we're going to mix this up again until it creates a ball. So we'll see you back here. So you see how this is already looking good. You just keep going. It's going to start to form its own ball, similar to my energy balls that I make. So let's pause this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this in this bowl and put it in the refrigerator to keep it nice and cold, just in case your butter wasn't as hard as you like. Some of it smelled on me. And I can just easily put this into a ball because we're not gonna roll it with a rolling pin. Oh, thank God, right? Yeah, this is gonna be pressed into this beautiful pie pan right here. And it's gonna be used for pumpkin pie. So this way we're getting rid of the inflammatory oils that you find in pie crusts. We don't need them. And you're getting tons of fiber here too. It's a great add. And we're gonna cook it a little before we actually do the pumpkin pie recipe tonight. So let me get this in the fridge and I'm gonna show you how to cut the parchment paper really easy to put into the pie pan. Okay, so I like to start with unbleached. You can get this at Whole Foods, the unbleached parchment paper. And basically you just fold it in quarters like this. And almost like you're gonna make a snowflake like you may have made in first grade. Just put this in the center and then just mark off kind of a rough mark on the edge. And then you're just gonna cut a nice little circle here, an arc, and it'll fit perfectly in the bottom. So what I do before, what I do first is I just grease the bottom with, and the sides with coconut oil. That way it'll stick. And it's all ready. We're gonna cook it a little bit before we put it in the filling later tonight. And there you go. It fits perfect in the bottom of the pan. Okay, so I'm going to let the just the pie dough just chill a little bit. It's warm in here. We're in South Florida, so and then it's already looking lovely. So we'll be right back to finish that. So while we're waiting for me to press it into this pan, we're just gonna cook it for about 12 minutes in a 350-degree oven. This is a fully vegan one, which I'll do at another time. It's gonna be made with arrowroot. Now you need the arrowroot. It helps to thicken up some of the more delicate flours, especially like almond flour. That's what I use in my $1 million chocolate chip cookie recipe. Arrowroot's necessary there, because you can't just substitute white flour for other types. Tigernut flour, this is not a nut, so it is grain-free, it's nut-free. It is actually a root, a tubular, similar to like cassava root, and that's tapioca as well. A really high-quality coconut oil and some sea salt, and that would be it. So that's an alternative, and we'll be right back to put this into the pan. Okay, so check this out. It's a nice ball, but we're not using rolling pin to roll this out. We're gonna just press it into the pan, and then we're gonna poke it full of holes so it doesn't bubble up. I'm gonna cook it for 12 minutes at 350 degrees. So just get it in the pan and just kind of press outward. So you see how each of these lobes will just give you more in the direction that you wanna go. I'm just gonna keep pressing it. Hopefully we have enough. Sure. So just keep pressing from the inside out and it gradually goes out. So I'm going to keep doing this until it's done and then we'll be right back. So we're pretty much done here. When you're pressing it to the side, you're gonna get a little buildup at the ridge right here. So what you do is then you take your fingers and you kind of pull it up the sides like this. And if you get an area where there's a little bit more pie crust than another, just steal some from that area. So if you put them into a tart pan, of course you're gonna get that the jagged edge up nicely from the tart pan. But we're just creating a base. I make the pumpkin pie custard without any crust at all, and I love it. So you don't even need a crust to make that. So we have it nice. Just make the edges as uniform as possible. Bring this up a little bit more here. That's it. It's just a foundation for the pie. People are really just looking for the filling anyway. So I'm just going to go around and put holes into it. Couch. Then just put some in the bottom like this. Okay, fill in that hole. So we're just going to make this for 12 minutes in a 350-degree oven. So it's going in. Okay, we'll check that instead. Okay, while we're waiting for the other crust to cook, so we're going to make a vegan one now. This has got a cup plus about a cup and a quarter of the Tigernut Flour. So exotic. It's got a third of a cup of the Arrowroot and 5 tablespoons of my coconut oil. Is very soft. It's not, you melt it, let it cool a little bit. Putting it in here. It's got a quarter teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to add 1.5 tablespoons of very cold water. So let this go. And we'll meet back here when it's blended. Okay, this is looking really good. Similar to the other, you just let it go until it gets thick. I use this little spatula to scoop it up so it's not just plastered on the bottom of your food processor. This is excellent. See, so it already is forming a ball. And just so you know, Tigernut, also very high in fiber, just like the coconut flour. So you're getting fiber, it cuts down your carb conversion. So that 19 grams of carbs in here per serving is then transferred down by 10 grams of fiber, so you're left with 9 grams of carbs. Divide that by 5, less than 2 on the sugar conversion. That's how you do that. And I just have a little bowl of water here that has ice in it. Just putting in 1.5 tablespoons of water. We're going to mix this up some more until it forms into a ball, and then I already have the pan ready. So this is a tart pan, really cute, right? With the same, it's greased. I've got the parchment paper in the bottom, and we'll be right back. Okay, this is looking really great, and I think you're gonna like Tigernut Flour. It has an interesting taste. See here, it's a little darker. Don't be fooled, it's not a nut. It has this naturally sweet flavor. It's really yummy. And the crust is done. I just heard it beats that 18 seconds left. Let's take a peek. It'll be perfect. Take this out. And there's our starter crust for tonight. We're gonna let it sit on the countertop. It's gonna be cool, of course, before we put the filling in. We're gonna do that tonight. Hold on. So we're gonna get this into a bowl and put it into a pan so you can see this one done too. Okay, this is looking fantastic. It's got a unique flavor. And I think it's gonna go really, really well with a raw vegan pecan walnut kind of a pie. So we're gonna get creative, but first we're going to get this cooked and spread it into the pan. So basically just do the same thing. I start in the center and I push it all out so that it tries to move outward in a uniform fashion, and you just keep pressing it. And then they're gonna press it into the sides and it'll be done. So I'll be right back with that. Okay, so we're almost done here. So remember, when you get to the edge, so in this pan, it's easier to push into the grooves there. You don't need to get it all the way up, but you need to get it enough so that the filling has an edge to it. And guys, you're doing this at home. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't need a rolling pin. It'll look fantastic. Just get it into the grooves and just keep pushing the dough from the center toward the outside, and you'll get it all fit in there. So I'm going to pre-cook this because I'm going to be doing a raw filling. So it'll be a raw vegan. So any of my my recipes also in the cookbook, like my cheesecake recipes, you can just put in here as a raw filling and just kind of freeze it or cool it, just like I do the cheesecakes. So that's another option. That's with soaked cashews, coconut cream, coconut oil, and fresh berries. So unless you're allergic to cashews, and the pecans, will be using dates as a base instead of the high fructose corn syrup. I used corn syrup growing up for sure. We all did. Just it's getting worse and worse. Okay, it's looking fantastic. I'm gonna put it in the oven and it will be done. So I've actually brushed the edges with a tiny bit of maple syrup to get it crispier, since we're going to pre-cook this. And then I'm just gonna poke a few holes in it. And voila. It's gonna go in the oven for about 15 minutes until it looks like it's about done. We'll test it 15 to 20 minutes max. Okay guys, so we'll be back when they're all done so you can see them both, and then you can check out tonight's Wednesday webinar on the alternatives to Thanksgiving favorites. Okay, so we have them both done. Just took this one out. See how it's a little crispier where I just brushed on a little bit of maple syrup. So that's got to cool, then we can take it out. I'm gonna do the date filling in there, so you have to tune in for the weekly webinar, which I'll repost, but that's what we're gonna do tonight. This will be baked for the alternative pumpkin pie, which has, I'm gonna do with just 1 tablespoon of real maple syrup. And you'll see how it's going to get sweet without that. And we're using some sweet potato as well to naturally sweeten it. Okay, I hope you liked these options, and be sure to follow me too on Facebook, KKsFitKitchen, Kimberly Knox, and on Instagram, KKsFitKitchen as well. We've got lots of things going on, and my website, In the Kitchen with KK, is always loaded. Be sure you check out my new Creed program. The last one of the year is starting this Sunday, and then we'll be gearing back up for January, and I'll be addressing the season of winter. Special recipes, videos, everything is fantastic. Have a great day, guys.